Right now, first at 4, Detroit's police chief speaking out about 2 injured officers after a driver puts a police chase on the internet. We have breaking news about a hazing investigation, new information about the victim, and why the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office says it can't take the case. Paula?
You know, there was a time when this domestic scene probably wasn't even thought of. But because of an organization, it now is. You'll understand when you see the story.
All right, Paula. Plus, we'll get you ready for your weekend with a look at some of the ups and downs in the forecast. It's all next, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon to you, everyone. I'm Sandra Ali. That breaking news is out of Warren, where major new developments in the De La Salle hazing case are unfolding. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office now says the victim in the case does not want to press charges and declined an interview with police. Today, the Warren Police Department asked prosecutors to charge 3 teens with assault for the alleged incident that happened in the locker room. Police say an 18-year-old senior and 2 16-year-olds took part in the team hazing tradition that involved a broomstick. Also, the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office says it's passing the case along to another prosecutor's office because a senior assistant prosecutor has ties to that investigation. Of course, we're still sorting through all of this, what it means for the case and what happens next. Our coverage continues tonight at 5. Also breaking right now at 4, part of I-96 at Outer Drive closed for a deadly crash. Police say a woman was changing lanes but didn't yield and was hit by a car. That forced her car into the back of a semi. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. No one else was hurt, and as the investigation continues, police say do expect backups for the drive home there on eastbound I-96 right near Outer Drive. 2 Detroit police officers are recovering at this hour from a crime that was streamed live on Facebook. Police say a 23-year-old man was pouring gas, trying to light it on fire. This happened at the gas station at 21 and Shaner. Macomb County Sheriff's deputies chased after him. Then Warren police picked up the chase until he entered Detroit. This entire time, he was live streaming all of this on Facebook. When Detroit police officers tried to stop him on Jefferson, he drove head-on into a squad car. 2 officers were taken to the hospital for knee pain.
This suspect was focused on targeting police officers, starting with Macomb County, Warren, and then he says in his rant live on Facebook, let's go to Detroit and see what they'll do.
The suspect was arrested for assault of a police officer and reckless driving. Coming up tonight at 5, we are going to dig into the suspect's past, a previous brush with the law, and also how he was allowed to go free. New testimony today in the case of the Genesee County man accused of spiking his wife's cereal with heroin. Jason Thomas Harris charged with murder in the death of Christina Thompson Harris. This preliminary hearing will determine if Harris will indeed go to trial. Harris sat in the courtroom today as the medical examiner talked about the details of Christina's autopsy report. Coming up new at 5, he explains how he didn't find any bruises, scrapes, or apparent wounds, but he did find something unusual and very alarming. That part of the story coming up tonight at 5. Well, take a look here. This large fire breaks out and burns for hours. This is at a Flat Rock furniture store. This is the scene at Premier Office Installations. The fire started this morning at the building off of Vreeland and Hall Road, right near I-75. Lots of smoke poured out. 3 fire departments responded here, and right now the cause is still under investigation. We're heading into the second weekend of November now, and it definitely feels more like January out there. Andrew's here today, and Andrew, I know lots of families heading out for football games tonight. What are they facing?
Well, at least we have dry conditions out there, but Sandra, you're exactly right. Very cold considering it is early November and feeling like early January, as Sandra mentioned. I mean, temperatures are just barely above freezing by only 1 degree for our friends over in Lapeer. Farther into the thumb in places like Sandusky, closer to Motown, we're looking at 36 over on the east side at City Airport, 37 at Metro Airport. But at least we have the sunshine with us. A few more clouds than earlier today, but it still remains dry, rain-free, and snow-free, and that continues through this evening. 37 degrees, but grab your coats, hats, scarves, and gloves. It feels like it's in the 20s or like it is around freezing or below because of the wind that's out there, even though it is a gentle breeze at around 5 to 12 miles per hour. And by kickoff for many of the playoff games tonight, temperatures down to freezing or lower, mostly in the upper 20s. So bundle up as you head out to Friday night football or whatever your destination happens to be. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast, some higher temperatures, but any more snow? That in a few minutes.
Thank you, Andrew. It's been said the best defense is a good offense. That must be President Trump's game plan now as he continues to bash and belittle the ongoing impeachment investigation. But evidence seems to be mounting against him. Let's go ahead and check in with Kimberly Gill in the newsroom now. And Kim, we're getting even more transcripts now today.
That we are, Sandra. Good afternoon to you. In those transcripts, 2 government officials give vivid testimony of the Trump administration pushing Ukraine to investigate Democrats and Joe Biden. They show that Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman told investigators the White House was indeed holding up a Trump meeting with Ukraine's president until an investigation was launched into the energy company where Joe Biden's son worked. Another official, Dr. Fiona Hill, said she considered the administration's actions to be a clear risk to national security. Meanwhile, acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney ignored a subpoena and refused to testify today. And an attorney for the whistleblower who launched this whole investigation has sent a letter to the president demanding he cease and desist attacks on his client. The president does not seem discouraged.
The whistleblower is a disgrace to our country, a disgrace. And the whistleblower, because of that, should be revealed.
And that's just one of the comments the president made about the impeachment process today. He denies any wrongdoing. We'll have more from the president tonight at 5, Sandra. And remember, the first public hearings start next Wednesday. The investigation is definitely picking up some momentum here. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, those hearings right around the corner. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
An emotional release from prison today for a woman whose case sparked outrage over sentencing in Oklahoma. Tondaleo Hall served 15 years. This is after failing to report her boyfriend for abusing her children. She was sentenced to 30 years, but Oklahoma's governor just commuted her sentence to time served. Hall's former boyfriend pled guilty to abusing the children and was later sentenced to 10 years. He was released after serving just 2 years. It takes very special parents to raise children with disabilities. One heartbreaking question that they are often faced with: what happens to my child if and when I'm not around anymore? We recently learned about an organization that's taking some of that fear away. Our Paula Tutman looks at how it provides greater independence and some happily ever after beginnings.
So I think what's so incredible about what you're seeing here is this is a couple and they're doing regular couple things.
This beautiful proposal is made more beautiful by the fact
I talked to her dad. He gave you his blessing.
that more than 20 years ago,
I'm real lucky, and I didn't expect it.
It seemed like an impossible moment.
I had this kid with Down syndrome, and they're telling me all these horrible things, and I was a mess. We were given a very dismal prognosis for Brett. They told us to think about institutionalizing him.
But 2 weeks ago, 27-year-old Bridget and 34-year-old Brett proved everyone else wrong. With a moment of complete normalcy, a boy and a girl met, fell in love, and got engaged. They share an apartment in Troy, have jobs, pay bills.
We make our own meals. We take care of each other, make sure we're safe. We just love it here.
They live lives their parents could only dream of, but this is real.
We love each other.
With the help of an organization called On My Own.
We serve individuals with Down syndrome, autism, cerebral palsy, other cognitive and developmental disabilities.
The nonprofit provides wraparound services for disabled adults who would be considered, in old-fashioned language, medium to high functioning.
We always do it together.
But these are adults who do need a safety net, something parents with disabled children always worry about.
I worried, one, that, what's going to happen to them when we're gone.
And they each only have one sibling who are very involved in their lives, but we didn't want them to feel like they had to replace us when we're not here anymore. And that's what we feel like there's a community to support them when we're not able to anymore.
On My Own is that contingency plan with education, social activities, and hands-on help to assist in day-to-day independent living.
It might be help making bank transactions, understanding the value of money.
That lead to lifelong independence. Yeah, how do you not smile at that? I mean, this is incredible work that On My Own of Michigan is doing. Now, they are a nonprofit, but it costs families up to $300 for this kind of placement. But that really just offsets, Sandra, that offsets the cost, because the wraparound services really do cost so much more. Obviously, they need financial help in continuing this, because this really is the contingency plan for so many parents out there.
It's just absolutely priceless work, Paula. Thank you. You can't put a price tag on that. Thank you so much, Paula.
No, you can't.
Still ahead, one of the most successful singers in the world getting into the cannabis business. He'll be much more than a spokesperson. We're going to talk about that coming up in Trending Stories today. But up first, a disturbing mystery uncovered, 3 victims found, and why several homes in this neighborhood had to be evacuated. We have news from across America. Plus, buying secondhand items online, we all know it can help you save some money, but some products might be more dangerous than you realize. What Help Me Hank found out and what he found on sale right here in Metro Detroit, plus how you can protect yourself. That's next.